School year's over, which means I might give y'all more videos. Hey y'all, it's Deuce and welcome back to my channel where normally we be talking about black TV shows, movies, and web series. However, when I tried to review this movie, Selah and the Spades, I realized I had a lot to say about the main character, Selah. And so I realized, let's just do that. So today I'm starting something new in the channel called Character Convos, where we do a study into the character and we do a deep dive into a certain themes about the character and we just basically talk about them, you know? Which I'm excited for. I hope you guys like it. Selah and the Spades is an Amazon Prime exclusive high school drama film, and it is written by Tarisha Poe. Written and directed by Tarisha Poe, excuse me. It has great acting from the main characters, Lovey Simon. Wow, I said Simon. Simone, Jerome, Celeste O'Connor, and Anna Mulvoy-Ten. Everyone else didn't do a bad job acting. Those are just the main actors who I feel did like the best acting. And on the cast, but on behind the scenes, the writing I think was really well on like the dialogue and like the actual narrative standpoint. And I love how the movie was shot. I think it was shot so beautiful. So I just want to give props to the movie. So yeah, like I said, this is my mini review. I think it's really good. Y'all need to go check it out. Now let's talk about the main character because I have a lot to say about her. Selah is a perfectionist, and this is indubitably because of her mom. And we see this in the beginning of the movie where her mom basically chews her out for having a 93 on a bio test rather than 100. And this is important because but in the same convo, Selah gives a bunch of reasons why. And she's like, you're just like your father, full of excuses. And so this is instilled into Selah that excuses are a problem. You gotta tolerate minimal mistakes. And it's not a fun, like, I feel really bad for her, like for her mental health, because she does not allow herself, the Spades, or Paloma to make too many mistakes because she's like, you know what, I'm over it. Like, for example, her co-leader, Maxie, he got beaten up. He got beaten up and he didn't get, I don't know if he didn't get enough supply or he didn't get any supply from Fishtown, the seedy place that she sent her by herself, so she know he was gonna get beaten up. And so she's like, you know what, you're fired. And this is after, of course, he shoots her out because she was saying a lot of out-of-pocket things to him. But yeah, like, I mean, he's been with her for a long time. So for me, I think that is a very irrational decision for her to let him go so suddenly because he made a couple of mistakes. And also this perfectionism is also seen how she, like I say, how she treats herself. Because when things don't go perfectly for her, she always beats herself about it. And this has to do with perfection, but it's also a little theory. So when Paloma was talking to Selah about things referring or about like relationships, she was very dodgy about it. She's like, you know, I don't really do that type of stuff. Sex, dating, I don't really do it. It's not for me. And I think that might be a clever, like a stealthy way of the writers trying to tell us that Selah might be asexual or aromantic. And I think that, well, first thing, if that is the case, that is representation. We don't get to see a lot of queer people, especially black queer people, especially ace and aromantic queer people, black queer people. But we're not going to talk representation because I think that was a deliberate decision, because this also means that Selah probably does not like herself for being different. Like I said, she wants to be perfect, and being perfect for the most part means to not deviate too much from the norm. If society tells you that you have to be straight and she feels no emotional connection to people in a romantic or sexual regard, she's going to view herself as different, therefore a failure. And if that was the intention, sis is a lot on her plate. Selah is obsessed with power, and I have a lot to say about Selah and power, so this is going to be broken up into a lot of sections. So this first section is basically about power and how it relates to control. So, like I said, her mom has been very overbearing when it comes to perfection, which means her mom has been making a lot of decisions for her, and she does not like it. Her mom really wants her to go to Redwood, and I'm not too sure why. She says it'll make her a better person. It'll be good for you, straighten you out. But there's nothing that we've seen that has shown that Selah acts out. That's overly egregious and compared to other people, because I mean she's running a illegal drug trade. So besides that, I don't see what the mom is talking about. So I think one of the reasons that Selah does not want to go to Redwood is because it is basically a choice. Like, college is a big decision for people, and that choice is basically removed from her. Her mom is making that decision for her, and that's why she's so apprehensive to go in, because she does not want to go. It could be really good, it could have her major and everything, but because she didn't pick it, her mother picked it, and her mother is forcing that down her throat, she does not like that lack of control. Also, touching on control, she talks to Paloma in the beginning about how she likes in the cheer squad. I mean, she likes being in the cheer squad, and basically everyone in the cheer squad like it, because as a girl in society, everyone's telling you what to do in regards to what to wear, what to do, how to speak. And in the cheer team, they don't gotta worry about anything, okay? They make the decisions for themselves, and they know what is best for themselves. And she revels in the fact that she is very, I don't want to say individualistic, but independent. Yeah, she and the cheer team is independent, and she loves that a lot. Selah, her character has a lot of allusions to things in society. She herself vocally made a Greek mythological allusion to Icarus because she had a problem with her previous protege, Tila. She claimed that she flew too close to the sun, and that's why she got expelled. However, if we're thinking about how she's behaving right now in response to Paloma and how she's been acting before Paloma, I personally think she is Icarus, and she's letting power control get to her head because she's never had enough of it. So she's doing the most. So, like, for example, like at the end of the movie, when she's like, oh no, this Paloma's, she's overly ambitious. She's too arrogant. I don't like this. So she sabotages Paloma, her prom that she planned, by almost overdosing her to death. Oh, not to death. That overdose, you die. But but yeah, she almost drugged her to death is what I'm trying to say. And that's because she didn't like how Paloma was talking. I mean, y'all can have a discussion about if Paloma was being overly ambitious or whatever, but we can all agree that drugging people is wrong, and that is a big extreme that she took. And so yeah, I would say that is like the sun, sort of. Basically, since she was getting too arrogant with her power, she basically is becoming, I guess, out of control, and she's letting that lust for power and like that euphoria she gets from power control her. And I mean, I'm surprised we didn't see any actual repercussions besides her emotional guilt after feeling bad for drugging Paloma. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, she's Icarus. And the other thing is a historical illusion, which if y'all don't know your Black history, you're not going to pick this one up. So countless times in the movie, we see this image of her sitting in this throne, and it looks like the exact same throne that Huey P. Newton used to sit in, and it's a very iconic picture. Now, I think that was definitely intentional, because while we can say, oh, the director is just super pro-Black, I think it's more than that. She evoked that imagery of the Black Panthers because they both had one thing in common. She and Huey P. Newton were marginalized people who had power taken from them. Her was not necessarily because she's Black, but I mean, we can assume that she's had power taken away from her because she's Black and control. And Huey P. Newton was because he was Black. And so the idea for both of them is that they both try to take that power back from society and use that to empower themselves and their communities. Huey P., meaning the Black community and the Black Panthers, and Selah, her and the Spades. She wants to make sure that they get all the money they need to survive in high school. So I thought that was really interesting how the implementation of both allusions, historical and Greek, because they're both very accurate and very telling of Selah's character. Selah perceives power as the most important thing. And this can be seen multiple times in the movie. She thinks that the only way that you can assert power, assert dominance, is through brute force and violence. She beats up that one guy because he was late on the debt. She she pressures and normalized violence to Paloma when homegirl they found out about the rat, and like she had some bloody knuckles. I didn't think Paloma had it in her. And then when she was upset that Maxie was falling behind, he was like, "You're slacking a bit." She like basically fed him to the wolves of Fishtown, where they get their stock of drugs and alcohol, and he got beat up because he went there by himself. She told us early on that you don't go to Fishtown by yourself. It is a seedy part of town outside of Philly, I think, or it's a neighborhood of Philly. I don't know, but basically she knows what Maxie was getting himself into when she told him to go by himself, and so that's why she does not seem fazed by when he comes back all beaten up, because she knew that was gonna happen, and that's what she wanted, which I think again is really telling for her character. And why does she do this? She does this because she thinks power is important. You need to maintain power if you want to. I mean, you need to instill the fear of God, as she said, in order if you want to maintain power. Which, side note, in my opinion, if I was doing an illicit activities and I was in control of that, I don't think I need to beat people up. I would just blacklist them. Like all the 5 factions would blacklist the rats, so they can't partake in any of the illicit activities, because clearly they see a value in it. So take that away from them. Beating people up, I think, is too messy, especially since they got interrogated and the guy was like, "I fell down the stairs." And then the headmaster was like, "A lot of people were falling down the stairs. Like, it's too messy. It's too messy." But that's besides the point. So yeah, she did that. And also also with that violence, her lust for power, like I said earlier, culminates with her taking the most drastic actions. And when she hears about Paloma, because first of all, the whole point of the movie is so she can train a successor. So the Spades have someone to have a leader when she graduates, because this is her senior year. But when she sees her pupil have these big aspirations, she's like, "No, you're doing too much." She doesn't like that she's being outshined. And she's saying, "You are being controlled, but you're getting too controlled by power." But basically, power is controlling her, because I think low key, she doesn't like the fact that she's about to relinquish all that power to one person. And the fact that not only did she did this and this whole drugging problem at the prom, but she did this before in the past. That's what she did to Tila. She didn't even deny it, because when Paloma was talking to Bobby, which again, Bobby is a phenomenal, like all those 4 characters, fantastic actors. Bobby, when she was asked by Paloma what happened to Tila, she told her like a side of the story, and I thought we were gonna get a separate side of the story. You're like, "Oh, Bobby exaggerates or whatever," but she didn't deny much. She said, yeah, this happened to her, and she was doing too much, so things happened." Huh? So yeah, power definitely got into Selah's head, and I think it is a very interesting tale how it folded overall. In addition to dialogue, there's also audio cues that shows up a lot of times when Selah is displeased with things not being perfect, or she is not okay with the situation she's in regards to power. And there's a couple of times in which there was a lot of dissonant music just playing, and it almost sounds like it's drowning her thoughts and she can't think. Because I remember specifically one time after Maxie chewed her out and she fired him, she was trying to save face to everyone. She's like, "Hi, hi, hi," but once she gets into a room, she starts breaking down and crying. So yeah, I think that was a very interesting audio cue that they put inside the movie. And that's all I have to say about Selah. Like I said, there was a lot that I wanted to say about her. I really liked this movie. There is so much there's so much detail, and I'm just talking about one character. Yeah, I really like this movie. I used to run a student organization in my high school, African American Student Union, and when I was a senior, I had the same issue trying to find a successor. So like, I really related to this movie and its plot. Not necessarily to Selah as a character, but I do, like I said, I do like the movie. She's a very well written and well fleshed out character. So yeah, I'm excited to do more of these character conversations, but that's the future. Until then, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all whenever.